Hey guys, this is Sanjeet. In our last tutorial, we talked about level design and how to make our object move and rotate. So in this tutorial, we're going to be talking about how to add projectile and how to be able to shoot bullets. So first thing we're going to do is go to Game Object, 3D Object, and Sphere. So we have the sphere. Let's readjust the size. Again, you can scale to whatever you want. I'm going to do 0.5 for all of them. I'm going to rename this to bullet. I should call it bullet. Actually, no, bullet is a better name. And find a tag. So I've already kind of had my bullet tag. So in case, what you have to do is go to tag, add tag, plus write bullet, and hit save. Somehow my Unity already kind of had that done for me. Alright, material. So create new material. I'm gonna say bullet color. And you can choose again whatever color you want. I'm just gonna choose red because I think red's a cool color for a bullet. Actually, let's go on. Let's make it a little. Yeah, that makes a little more sense for a bullet to be a color. Alright, so next thing we want to do is add a rigid body to our bullet. And we want a rigid body because a bullet also needs to be able to simulate, as much as it uses gravity, our bullet also has its own distance it's going to travel. So when we fire a bullet, it not just collides with the object, but it also makes it blow up. We'll actually get into that more, but we want to be able to code our bullet to do what we want it to do. So let's create a new C# script. And I'm going to call this shooter. Oh, somehow it's probably recognizing it from one of my other projects. Reload from this. Alright, this is how your screen should look like. Let's just run it just to make sure it's all good. Alright, pretend that never happened. So now what we're going to do is create a public game object and call it bullet. Then I'm going to create another object I'm going to create another public float variable called power before I create another public object. And I'm going to initialize that 10.0f. Now I'm going to create a public audio clip. And I'm going to call it shoot FFX. So for our bullet, the script we're initializing our bullet to, we don't actually need a starting place for this. We just want our bullet to update as we shoot it. So you can erase void start, and let's update our framework. Sorry, our frame per second, not framework. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is create an if statement. So if input dot get button down, and this is from our project settings. So if it's fire 1, so this is actually already built in our input settings. So when we press or when we left click our mouse, it's going to fire the bullet, but we wanted to check multiple things before it actually fires when we click. So if input.get button down, let's go to the next one. So if bullet game object, new projectile. So we're actually instantiating our bullet. So we're instantiating our game object. So we're creating something called game object, calling a new projectile, and we want to instantiate it with our bullet object. So we want to, the way we want to instantiate our bullet is we want to declare the name inside our new projectile. We want to transform the position, so whatever position it's in, and we want to be able to make it go forward when we fire it. And then we also want it to be able to rotate. So as our game object, our player object rotates, we want to be able to make our bullet fire and rotate at the same time. Well, not our bullet rotate, but wherever our object rotates, we want to be able to rotate with it. We want our bullet to be able to follow along with it. And that we're actually going to get into how to simulate velocity right now. So rotation, and we want this for a game object. So now we also want to be able to check if our rigid body exists. A new projectile. So basically what we're telling is if our bullet doesn't have a rigid body component, then to add it. So we're going to say new projectile dot add component and the rigid body. Make our code a little bit more organized. Alright, now we want to able to be simulating a little force for our bullet. So we're going to say new projectile dot get component. So it's going to pick it up from the rigid body. And we want to be able to tell it to add force. So basically what we're doing is we're simulating force of our bullets when we fire it. We're telling from the rigid body to add force, and we need to do a little math. So the amount of force, we want to be able to transform it forward, transform.forward times power. So right now our power is 10.0F. We can actually change that after our code compiles through the game engine. 10.0F is just what we set it up to, but we don't have to make it 10.0F. I'll explain that more once we compile the class, so how it's going to work to compile our bullet. So now I want to be able to make sure that the force mode is with the velocity change. So basically, as we fire a bullet, whatever direction we rotate at, velocity is always simulated with it. So whatever direction we rotate and turn at, and whatever direction we aim towards, our bullet should only go towards that specific direction, nowhere else. If I want my bullet to go up, it should go up and not down, because that's where I'm trying to rotate it to go. That's where I'm firing at. Alright. So now the next thing I'm going to be able to do is check for sound to be able to be played. Let's make it a little more cleaner. So if shoot SFX. So now we want to be able to set. So this is for our project. So at this exactly at the same time we fire our projectile, it should also play like a little sound effect. Like when you play a video game, when you fire a bullet, it plays a little sound effect as your bullet's firing. The sound of a bullet, just like in real life. So we want to be able to get the audio source component for our projectile. Alright, so now that we check for that, we just want to tell it new projectile dot get component. Audio source. So dot play. So we want to play one shot. So we just want to play it one time when we fire our bullet. So every time we fire a bullet, it should just play it one at a time. The audio source. So else, make it a little organized. Audio source. Dot play clip at point, and we want to be able to check for shoot SFX new projectile, and we want to be able to transform it forward. And now let's just close everything. So let's compile our code just to make sure. Okay, so we don't have any compile time errors, so that's a good sign. So now let's just make sure it updates our bullet script. Our script's been updated. Okay, so now first thing I'm going to do is attach the script to my bullet. And let's change power to 200. And let's actually drag this to our prefabs. So actually, we can just delete that because our bullet shouldn't even exist. It should just be inside the player object. So alright, so let's just check. For prefab, so we want the bullet to be able to, first let's look for the prefab, so that's the bullet. So before we actually look for audio sound, let's just actually test play the game before we add sound. Okay, and for some reason I don't have it. I think I might have attached it to the wrong script. Oh, I know what I did. Sorry, it's my fault. I'm actually supposed to attach it towards my camera because actually it's coming from my main camera. So let's look for the script, just make sure we got rid of it. Alright, so now we can actually add the bullet object properly and change its power to 200. Let's just make sure my prefab I properly updated my bullet. Okay, let's just apply our update for this guy. Now let's actually test it. Oh, so my bullet did fire. So now let's actually play a little sound with our bullets. So let's see if our game manager has any sound built in. Let's see anything for bullets. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do real quick. We're just gonna get some sound. So I'm just gonna Google it up. So laser sound effect. Yeah, you can pick whatever sound effect you want. I think lasers are pretty cool for a bullet sound effect, so I'm just gonna pick lasers. Okay, I'm happy with that. Actually, let's look at the other one. This one's a little better. So I'm just gonna convert it to MP3. Again, ignore this, you can convert it any way you want. Okay, and let's just start the download for it. Alright, so let me just drag this. So I'm just going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it Sounds. So let me go to downloads real quick. Download it. Let's look for the MP3. Okay, I can just drag and drop it into here. This is really simple. You're just going to drag and drop into Unity. It should be able to recognize it. It did just fine. So now, let's just drag and drop sound. Okay, save. Let's a little bit try to read just our camera bullet. So now let's actually see for rotating. So see how when we fire our bullet from our mouse, it plays the sound. So let's keep on doing it over and over. Alright, so now we got a working bullet. So in the next tutorial, we're actually going to be designing like a crosshair. So basically an aim pointer. Just like when you play a game like Call of Duty, you should be able to know, you should like have something like a red dot sign that's telling you where to aim your bullet. So we're going to be actually doing that in the next tutorial. And actually we might get into a little bit of enemy AIs. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe. If you have any questions, please leave some comments.